Picture a land where the sky is so blue, a storybook land of wonder, a magical island just waiting for you. Island of Sodor will make your dreams come true.
Henry couldn't get out of the tunnel.
Why?
Because he was stuck. Because there was bricks in the back and bricks in the front, and he couldn't get out. He mainly does like silly things, and he like plays tricks on Thomas.
Thomas the Tank Engine puffed happily along his branch line with Annie and Clarabelle. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting on the platform. He looked at his watch. "Well done, Thomas. You are right on time and really reliable." "Thank you, sir," whistled Thomas. "Ooh, right on time and really reliable," hummed the coaches. But the big engines were not feeling cheerful at all. "Where's Percy?" mumbled Henry. "He's supposed to fetch our coaches." "We get no rest," complained James. He edged angrily onto the turntable and spoke rudely to Henry. "What's the matter, Henry? There's no rain today. Stop worrying and do some work instead." "I'm not afraid of getting wet anymore," huffed Henry. "Anyway, you look silly enough to be a clown. You should join the circus." "Oh," whistled Percy. "So you've heard the news?" "What news?" "About the circus." "Percy, what are you talking about?" "The circus has arrived," explained Percy. "I've been shunting special cars. Sir Topham Hatt needs your help, too." The engines soon forgot to be tired and cross, until it was time for the circus to leave. Then Gordon and Henry were cross all over again when James got to pull the train away. A little later, Sir Topham Hatt returned. "Come along, Henry. A tunnel is blocked down the line. You must take some workmen to investigate." pushing cars," grumbled Henry. They stopped outside the tunnel. The workmen went inside. It was very dark and quiet, but not for long. "Help!" shouted the workmen, and they ran out. "We started to dig at the block, but it grunted and moved," one said. "Rubbish," said the foreman. "It's not rubbish. It's big and alive. We're not going in there again." "Right," said the foreman. "I'll ride in the cars and Henry shall push it out." "Wheesh," said Henry unhappily. He had been shut in the tunnel for being afraid of the rain, but this was worse. Something big and alive was inside. "Peep, peep. I don't want to go in." "Neither do I," said his driver, "but we must clear the line." Oh, dear, puffed Henry. Then there was trouble. The block was indeed alive and very strong. It began to push the train backwards. Out of the tunnel came Henry, then the cars, and last of all, a large, cross elephant. "Well, I never!" cried the foreman. The workman gave him some cake. He drank 3 buckets of water and was just about to drink another when Henry let off steam. Cried the elephant. Water went all over Henry. Poor Henry. The elephant and his keeper were soon reunited, but Henry was most upset. "An elephant pushed me. An elephant hooshed me." That night he told the other engines all about it. Gordon and James felt sorry for Henry, but still teased him. First the rain, then an elephant. Whatever will you be afraid of next? Never mind, Henry, murmured Thomas. I think you were brave today, and really reliable, too.
Do you think I have a favorite? Oh, goodness, I can't even think. There's so many stories. They're beautiful stories. It's just, and I like the things that the stories have to say. They have a very important point.
It gives them an opportunity to learn something that's meaningful, and it puts everyday situations into a format that they can understand. And you know, a lot of good lessons for life are learned through the Thomas series.
Now Harold works all day. He flies all around and up in the whole sky up there. And that's what he does because he likes doing that. And you know why? Because he likes that.
Tank engines get lost in some sort of place, and then Harry looks, "Are you all right?" And then they say, "We're lost." So he flies back and tells them that he's lost, and Sir Topham Hatt that he's lost, and then they try to go out and look for him.
He's a helicopter, and he's a helicopter. And he flies. He flies.
Every summer, the island of Sodor is very busy. Holidaymakers love to sightsee, and when the weather is fine, there is no better place to visit. Some people like to go to the mountains. Others like the valleys. Children love the seaside. One morning, Thomas was puffing along the line that runs by the coast. His two coaches, Annie and Clarabelle, were packed with children going to the beach. Everyone was happy. Percy was taking some freight cars to the harbor. "Hello, Thomas. You look cheerful. I wish I could take children today instead of freight cars." "They're the Vickers Sunday School," explained Thomas. "I'm busy this evening, but the station master says I can ask you to take the children home." "Of course I will," promised Percy. Later, Percy saw Harold. "Sorry, Percy. Can't talk. I'm on high alert." "Why?" "Bad weather's due. My help's always needed." "Mind how you go, Percy." "Huh," huffed Percy. "As long as I've got rails to run on, I can go anywhere, in any weather, anyhow. Goodbye." "Be careful," warned Edward. "There's a storm coming." A promise is a promise, thought Percy, no matter what the weather. The children had a lovely day, but by tea time, dark clouds loomed ahead. Annie and Clarabelle were glad when Percy arrived. He was just in time. The rain streamed down Percy's boiler. Ugh, he shivered and thought of his nice dry shed. Percy struggled on past coastal villages and into the countryside. The river was rising fast. "I wish I could see! I wish I could see!" complained Percy as he battled against the rain. More trouble lay ahead. Hissed Percy. "The water is sloshing my fire." Percy's driver and fireman had to find some more firewood. "I'll have some of your floorboards, please," said the fireman to the conductor. "I only swept the floor this morning," grumbled the conductor, but he still helped. Soon Percy's fire was burning well. He felt warm and comfortable again. Then he saw Harold. "Oh, dear," thought Percy. "Harold's come to laugh at me." Something thudded onto Percy's boiler. "Ow!" exclaimed Percy. "He needn't throw things." "It's a parachute," laughed his driver. "Harold's dropping hot drinks for us." "Thank you, Harold," whistled Percy. "Good to be of service." replied Harold, and buzzed away. The water lapped Percy's wheels. Percy was losing steam again, but he plunged bravely on. "I promised," he panted. "I promised." He made one more big effort, and at last, exhausted but triumphant, he brought the train home. "Well done, Percy," cheered Thomas. "You kept your promise, despite everything." Sir Topham had arrived in Harold. First he thanked the men, then Percy. "Harold told me you were a wizard. He said he can beat you at some things, but not at being a submarine. I don't know what you two get up to sometimes, but I do know that you're a really useful engine." "Oh, sir," whispered Percy happily.
Sometimes it's nice to take some time out. Do what you really want to do. Just to relax and let the world fly by you. Forget your worries, no need to hurry. Just leave a sign to say.
Right.
And then he was just going so fast, it just like caught on fire on the track.
I guess there was a big turn, and then he went, and then he went into like a cow's field.
Because the wheels were like coming off, so like they couldn't make a turn. James!
What happened?
A bee stung him. Once a bee stung me.
Trevor the traction engine was enjoying his work in the vicarage orchard. Birds were singing and apples were ripening on the trees. It was a lovely day. "Hello, Trevor," said James. "You look as bright and cheerful as my red paint." "Oh, I am," replied Trevor. "What's that noise?" "It's the bees," laughed Trevor. "They're all in these boxy things called beehives. I'm taking them to the station. The vicar says his bees make good honey, and he's giving some of them to his friends." Just then, Boko, the diesel engine, hummed in. "Take care, you two. Don't make the bees angry. They might sting you." James didn't like being told what to do by a diesel, and he buzzed away. "Goodbye, Trevor," called Boko, and set off to see Duck at the next station. Bill and Ben, the tank engine twins, were busy arranging cars, but they scampered off when they saw Boko. "I remember the first time I met those two," laughed Boko. "They nearly made my eyes pop out. Edward soon put a stop to their games." "Edward is the only one who can keep Bill and Ben in order," chuckled Duck. "I sometimes call them the bees." "A good name," replied Boko. "They're terrors when they start buzzing around." James bustled in. "What's that, Duck? Are you afraid of bees? They're only insects after all, so don't let that buzzbox diesel tell you different." "His name is Boko, and he didn't. I wouldn't care if hundreds were swarming around. I'd just blow smoke and make them buzz off." "Buzz, buzz, buzz," retorted Duck.